In 1910, a private rail car departed a quiet station in Hoboken, New Jersey. On board were 6 men, not ordinary men, but some of the most powerful bankers and politicians in America. They traveled under false names, told no one their purpose, and vanished from the public eye for over a week. Their destination? A remote island off the coast of Georgia. Their mission? To draft a blueprint for something Americans had long feared, a central bank. What they created in secret would transform the U.S. financial system, redefine money itself, and concentrate economic power in private hands. Over a century later, the institution they built still holds enormous influence over global markets. This is the hidden story of Jekyll Island, the secret meeting that gave birth to the Federal Reserve. By the turn of the 20th century, the United States had become an industrial powerhouse. Railroads spanned the continent, factories churned out steel and textiles. But beneath this prosperity lurked a dangerous weakness. The financial system was fragmented, chaotic, and prone to collapse. There was no central authority to stabilize banks or provide liquidity during a crisis. Instead, money was issued by thousands of private banks. Trust was fragile, and panic could spread like wildfire. In 1907, that fear became reality. A financial panic triggered by speculation and rumor led to a cascading series of bank failures. Wall Street was on the brink of implosion. The only thing that stopped the collapse was J.P. Morgan, not the government, but a private banker who stepped in to coordinate emergency lending. This event terrified the American elite. They realized the nation's economy was vulnerable, and next time, there might not be a Morgan to save it. The solution, they believed, was a central bank, but they faced a problem. The American people deeply distrusted central banking. They remembered the first and second banks of the United States, both of which had been shut down amid charges of corruption, cronyism, and undue influence by European financiers. So, any plan for a central bank had to be drafted in total secrecy. That's where Jekyll Island comes in. In November 1910, Senator Nelson Aldrich, one of the most powerful men in Washington, quietly assembled a team of trusted bankers and economists. Among them was Paul Warburg, a German-born financier who had recently immigrated to the United States. Warburg wasn't just any banker. His family had deep ties to European central banking, and to the Rothschilds, the most powerful banking dynasty in the world. Also attending were representatives from J.P. Morgan, the National City Bank, and Kuhn, Loeb & Co., all institutions with immense reach and influence. To conceal their identities, the men traveled under code names and left no paper trail. Even the train crew wasn't told where they were going. They arrived at the Jekyll Island Club, a luxurious retreat for America's wealthiest families, including the Morgans, Rockefellers, and Vanderbilts. There, surrounded by palm trees and seclusion, they worked in secret for over a week. What they produced would soon become the foundation of the U.S. Federal Reserve System. The plan they drafted gave birth to a central banking structure that was anything but democratic. Instead of being fully government-run, the Federal Reserve would consist of regional banks controlled by private interests. Yet, with government backing and legal power, it was a hybrid model that blurred the line between public accountability and private profit. In 1913, their blueprint became law under President Woodrow Wilson. The Federal Reserve Act was sold to the public as a progressive reform, a way to stabilize the economy and prevent future panics. But behind the curtain, it institutionalized the very concentration of financial power that earlier generations had fought to prevent. And make no mistake, the men behind this plan knew exactly what they were doing. Paul Warburg, the intellectual force behind the system, brought with him a vision shaped by Europe's central banks. His brother Max Warburg ran the Reichsbank in Germany. The Warburgs had advised royal families, financed governments, and worked closely with the Rothschilds. To many historians, this link represents more than just coincidence. It was the moment when European-style monetary control, dominated by a few elite families, was imported into the United States. Through Warburg and his allies, the Rothschilds' legacy would take root in American soil, hidden behind the seal of the Federal Reserve. In the decades that followed, the Fed's influence only grew. It played a role in the boom of the 1920s, then failed to prevent the Great Depression in the 1930s. It helped finance war efforts in the 1940s. In 1971, under Nixon, the dollar was decoupled from gold entirely, and the age of fiat money began. From that point on, the Federal Reserve could create money with no physical backing. Debt exploded. Inflation became a permanent feature of economic life. The wealth gap widened. Asset bubbles became the norm. Today, the Fed not only sets interest rates, it bails out banks, controls liquidity, and indirectly shapes everything from housing markets to stock prices. And yet, it operates largely in the shadows, unelected, unaccountable, and often misunderstood. The story of Jekyll Island is not just a historical footnote. It's the origin story of a system that affects every dollar in your wallet, every mortgage payment, every retirement account. It's the reason why money keeps losing value. It's the reason why the national debt has crossed $34 trillion and continues to rise. Most people have no idea how or why the Federal Reserve was created. Even fewer understand that it was born in secrecy by private bankers with the goal of controlling the nation's monetary system, not serving the public. So, the next time someone tells you that inflation is a mystery or that the economy is too complex to understand, remember Jekyll Island. Remember that a handful of men made decisions in secret that still shape your life today. Want to learn more about this hidden history and the legacy of central banking elites like the Rothschilds and Warburgs? Read Jekyll Island and the Rothschild Legacy. Available now on Amazon. And if you found this story revealing, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more untold histories that still matter today.